What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to r/GetDisciplined with my terrible, comedically bad artwork, where today we've got some great advice on how to not waste your 20s. A little bit of a different format today, though, because it's a bit of a longer post, so it's going to be a mix of the old and the new. Our first post is from user MJS Preza. Don't waste your 20s. Some things to consider. Over the past couple of months, I have found myself in some sort of quarter-life crisis. One where I regret the past and fear for the future. I just turned 29 years old and my life progress has been dreadfully slow/stagnant. Lockdown hasn't made this any easier and created more mulling and rumination at my situation. As a result, I found myself in a low ebb of moods for quite some time. It was only until recently that some sort of revelation hit me, and it was like a thunderbolt from nowhere. It's given me a lot of clarity, but also a ton of panic and sadness. And it can be summed up like this. There are a lot of things that need to be done, sooner rather than later, with less time to do them in. I think everyone has come to some sort of conclusion with this in their own ways, but for me, this comes with having to catch up to do things that I should have done in the past that would set me up for today. Because today is your tomorrow of the past. It's one thing to save $10,000 over the course of 10 years. It's a whole different ballgame to have to save it in 1 year. I also have some things going for me, but I lack that strong gust of wind and momentum you need heading into your 30s. There were just a lot of things that I had to do and they just weren't done. And I also know there's no real significance in turning 30, but at that age, you should have hit certain markers and milestones that I've failed to hit. Also, I'm getting older, my parents are getting older, and there are more responsibilities. I was recently laid off due to COVID, and before that, I was trying my best to get a business started. This makes everything take on a new light of seriousness that simply wasn't there before. For example, one of the biggest for me is that I'm almost 29 years old and I've never been in a long-term relationship. There's many reasons for that, but to be honest, a lot of that was procrastination and fear. I want to eventually be married and have a family, but now I have to compress 10 plus years of dating into a space of 1 or more years when I have no background in it. That's a hard task. There are a lot of other considerations for me personally, but I'll try to make this not about me. Here's some things I would consider if I was turning 20 so I don't have to feel the burden of catching up. First, learn to increase your tolerance for pain and discomfort. Everything you have in your life is in your comfort zone. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have it. Therefore, everything you want in life lies outside this zone. Your comfort zone is a competence zone. In order to become the person you want to become, you'll need to leave it and expand it. Second, have a sense of urgency. One thing that I think screws a lot of people over is that they think they will have a lot of time to just do things. Sure, you might. But that time passes sooner and faster than you think. I was 20 and never thought I'd be 30. Well, I'm a year away from it. Whatever you want to do, just do it and get going. Third, handle issues. Now, we all have things in our life that quite frankly shouldn't even be there. It may be a nagging health issue like tight hips. It may be a conversation with a family member that you didn't have. It may be the inability to get your sleep down. It may be not being able to talk to women. It may be an addiction. Whatever it is, handle it sooner rather than later. There's many things in life that just don't go away when you get older. In fact, they get even worse. Fourth, think long term. This is pretty cliche/underrated, but it's true. The only way you get really good at something is to do it consistently over an undefined period of time. I learned this when I learned how to play guitar or build my body in the gym. But grand successes start with small things done every day. Fifth, start now. When I was 23 and had my head down working at a job I didn't like, just trying to make something of myself, I had visions of being 5 years older and finally being comfortable in my skin. You know, the cool stuff. Having the life I always dreamed of, having a nice partner, living in a different state, and having everything just be all right. I fantasized about there being a time or a day when I would be ready to do things.
that day never came. And if you're waiting for that day to come, I have news for you. You'll be waiting for a long time. 6th, focus on becoming effective. One of the best ways to get to where you want to get to is to become really effective at whatever it is you're doing. Maybe you learn how to manage time better. Maybe you learn how to say yes to only certain things. Whatever the case may be, you focus on tightening. 7th, work at near max capacity. You should feel like your life is almost full. You should be doing stuff, whether it be working out, learning a new skill, connecting with others, and in general, living and improving yourself. The saying, idle hands do the devil's work, didn't just pop out of nowhere. If you aren't being constructive with your time, you will almost certainly be destructive with it. I can guarantee it. 8th, be vigilant. There are some guys who let a bad thing happen once, and then they let it happen again. Then again. Next thing they know, it becomes a habit and it becomes something they integrate into their lives. Taken even further, this is something that is now a cornerstone habit and informs their entire life structure. It could be anything from gaming to drinking to smoking. Whatever it is, don't let one time become the next time. 9th, become that guy. If I were younger, the main thing I would focus on is social skills, developing an impenetrable, rejection-proof mindset. I know guys who have had nothing really going for them but were able to get meals and even lodging from people, especially women, because they were naturally charming and charismatic. That will take you really far in life. Social skills aren't everything, but they can make up for a lot of mileage in other areas. Finally, time will reward or punish you. In the moment of a decision, you don't know whether you did the right thing or not. You can have a clue, major clue even, but the only real evidence is what your life will look like at the far side of taking action. Some people took action and asked out that girl even with hesitation and fear. A couple years later, they marry and start a family. Some people also took action and popped that pill. A couple of years later, they can't stop taking drugs, and later, someone finds them in their room dead from an overdose. Whoever you are, wherever you are, time has the final say. Make sure you're on the right side by doing things you know are right. And there are other things, but I'll stop there. This was just something I felt I needed to share. Maybe someone else can resonate with it, and maybe some people younger than me can gain some wisdom from it. Well, OP, that is, that's quite the list there. Honestly, these are things that I do really feel like I needed to know in my 20s. And I kind of feel like a lot of my 20s was spent pursuing something that ultimately was going to take me nowhere as well. Working at a job that was really just kind of dead end and simply going on the hope that things would work out there one day. And then sure enough, after 6 years with them, it was like, okay, bye, see ya. Thanks for your service. Leaving me kind of adrift. And now here I am with only really kind of a handful of things going for me. However, it isn't too late. Hitting 30 doesn't magically change anything. It's just a number. You can still do great things with your life. So thank you so much for the post and for putting this up there. Wherever you're at, I wish you the best, and of course, stay beautiful.
That was r/GetDisciplined, and if you want more inspiring, badly drawn Reddit, then go ahead and click on the link here. Or if you want a playlist of funny Ask Reddit videos, then go ahead and click on the playlist link here. Now you guys stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you all on Tuesday. Until then, stay beautiful, people.